before we go further, update to my update this morning in the video I put out this morning. Pastor Charlotte saw the video and she reached out to me and she got me the correct Cash App handle. So I sent Pastor Charlotte her $300. Remember, I added an extra $100 so that the Woke Gardener got $300, the Atlanta Community Food Bank got $300, and Pastor Charlotte's Food Pantry got $300. Okay? Thank y'all. It is done. When I do this again, I'll do it beforehand so that, because a lot of y'all was mad that I didn't tell y'all that I was doing it. I didn't know that I was doing it at the time. The Spirit moved me and I went and got it done and was just taking y'all along for the ride. But thank y'all for jumping in after the fact and sending me all of that money. I was able to get all of that food during the first trip and still have all of this money left over. So the Woke Gardeners Food Pantry got $300. The Atlanta Community Food Bank got $300. And Pastor Charlotte, who is over Beth Salem Presbyterian Church, her food pantry got $300. Now into the video. Listen, as an American taxpayer, I want to say that I am sick of Israel. I feel like Israel is, just imagine the scene. You and some other children are swimming in a pool, right? A good friend decides they want to go for a swim too and jump in the pool. That friend cannot swim. You go over to help that friend and they drag you down with them. That's what I feel like the relationship is between the United States and Israel. That coupled with, I feel like Israel are leeches. The government, not the people, the government are leeching off of the United States. Israel has their own billionaires that are meddling in our democracy. Miriam Adelson and what's his name? Larry Ellis, the guy who bought TikTok. They're billionaires. Larry Ellison is buying up all of our media outlets, TikTok, CBS. Now he's going after CNN and some other news outlets. Miriam Adelson, she's buying politicians. Sent $60,000 to James Tallarico. Yeah, while they were all talking about Jasmine Crockett taking AIPAC money, which is a lie. James Tallarico is over here skirting by getting $60,000 from Miriam Adelson. What is he going to have to do for that $60,000 that he got from her? The same Miriam Adelson that donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to Donald Trump. Back in 2016, not hundreds of thousands of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars. Back in 2016, she donated millions of dollars to Donald Trump. As a result, she ended up getting awarded the Presidential Medal of Honor or something like that. And he moved the embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. And I believe they made Jerusalem the capital. What is James Tallarico going to have to do for that $60,000 that she got? And I believe there's more. People are still digging. He got more money from her. I feel like this Iran war, yeah, the word on the curb is that Bibi reached out to Donald Trump, told Donald Trump that they were going to go to war with Iran and they might as well join in because Iran is going to attack the United States. Donald Trump fell for it. Donald Trump said he wanted it to be like Venezuela. They wanted to take out the top dog, and then the next one in charge takes the mantle. Bibi double-crossed him and took out all the people. So yeah, this is serious what is going on between Iran, the United States, and Israel. And Israel is the menacing catalyst. I ain't saying that the United States is innocent. We know that they aren't innocent. But the United States is in this shit because of Israel. What's happening in Gaza, the United States is all wrapped up in this shit because of Israel. I'm sick of Israel. I feel like they are an anchor around the necks of the United States and the American people. And they want more. Israel wants more. They done wiped out Gaza, right? They trying to wipe out Iran, right? There's other Middle Eastern countries that they want to take out as well. But this was caught on video.
A new Turkish threat is emerging. I want to be very clear. Turkey and Qatar have gained influence in Syria, are seeking influence elsewhere and everywhere throughout the region. And from here, I warn, Turkey is the new Iran. Erdogan is sophisticated, dangerous, and he seeks to encircle Israel. And while some senior Israelis were on Qatar's payroll, Qatar and Turkey are nourishing the Islamic Brotherhood monster that is growing and eventually might become as dangerous as the one created by Iran. Turkey and Qatar are gaining influence not only in Syria, but also in Gaza, through the front door, and everywhere, and trying to create a new choke ring. Turkey is trying to flip Saudi Arabia against us and establish a hostile Sunni axis with nuclear Pakistan.
Palestine and Gaza, Iran, other Middle Eastern countries that they've been fucking with. And now they want to go after Turkey. That Israeli government, they are menaces to society. I am sick of them. Sick! I came across a few videos as it relates to this war that we've been dragged into because of Israel. Let's watch them together, shall we?
Something has gone horribly wrong. All of those people, with some exceptions, were never Trumpers in 2016. Shapiro didn't vote for Trump in 16. Mark Levin was critical of Trump in 2016. Where were these people when the movement was actually born, when those pillars were in place? Now all of those people are in the center. The movement is something else now. And what we need in 2028, this is our last chance. We need in 2026 for this administration to be shut the fuck down. What does this administration do other than cover up the Epstein files, embezzle money through government contracts, and bring us to war for Israel? This administration needs to be shut down immediately. Do not vote in the midterms. And if you do, vote for Democrats. Fuck this. That is what the Republicans deliver. That is what our golden age looks like. The tariffs were refunded. The deportations were stopped. They wound down and withdrew the ICE from Minneapolis. What does this administration do other than embezzle money, go to war with Iran, and bury the Epstein files? Oh, and blackmail Harvard so they police anti-Semitism and ban people who criticize Israel from being in America. This administration needs to be shut down immediately. It has forfeited its mandate. They promise no new wars. They promise mass deportations in America first. And we're not getting any of it. So shut it down. In 2026, shut it down. And our only hope is that in 2028, in the Republican primary, somebody will emerge who will actually put America first. I am not voting for the vice president and the secretary of state that brought us to war in Iran. I won't do it. 2026, shut it down. You got to burn the house down with them inside, metaphorically. And in 28, you better hope that somebody has a prayer to run the Trump strategy and do another hostile takeover over the GOP. Otherwise, I'm going to become a Democrat. Like, at that point, rather than be beholden to this country, that is our last chance. 28 Republican primary, we need a Trumpian figure to relight the candle. Someone needs to take the flame and take it further than Trump. He needs to take the baton and take it further and fulfill America first. That is the only way out of this at this point. And anybody that is not on this is not serious. The only takeaway that I have from all of these events, you are not pressuring this administration. All these people told us, if Trump brings us to war in Iran, we'll just tweet about it. Yeah, well, that's not really working, is it?
I agree with Nick. I agree with Nick. Something needs to be done with the Republican Party, and they all should vote Democrat in 2026. And then they all should register as Democrats. Leave the white supremacy, the anti-blackness, the anti-Semitism, and the racism. Leave that outside the door. Okay? Now, I do have to correct Nick, because you know he can't tell the truth all the way. ICE is still in Minnesota. They are still terrorizing people in Minnesota. Okay? Deportations have not stopped. They are still happening. But Nick ain't the only one. No, he's not.
What I do know is most Americans, and it's being proved in polling that's coming out, most Americans are completely against this war because, like you said, the president has made no case for it. We live our ordinary lives and we don't feel threatened by Iran. We don't walk around thinking that in any moment an Iranian ballistic missile is going to land on our head. We don't. Here's what Americans, and I want to read off this list. This is what Americans are focused on. 72% of Americans can't afford health insurance. 58% of Americans can't afford car insurance. 67% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. 31% of Americans can't afford their back taxes. 50% of Americans are in credit card debt, massive credit card debt. That's where we are in America. And I campaigned with the president. As a matter of fact, I was one of the only Republicans that was out there for Donald Trump when the rest of the neocons, by the way, that are just cheering him on now, had abandoned him and were trying to beat him in a primary and stop him from being president again. I was out there on the front lines for Make America Great Again. And Make America Great Again was supposed to be America first, not Israel first, not any foreign country first, not any foreign people first, but the American people first in our problems. And God bless the Iranian people. I hope to God that they can have a government that is for them and that treats women fairly. But what we have seen happen right now is we have seen over 100 little girls killed at a school from a bomb, and I don't know whose bomb it was, but they're dead today because America and Israel attacked Iran. So that's not really good for Iranian women. And our president is saying that the Iranian people are all of a sudden going to topple their regime. Well, I don't think the Iranian people are going to be toppling their regime when they're getting blown apart by the United States and Israel in an unprovoked attack. And yes, it was unprovoked. And Pete Hegseth said this morning, Megan, he said that we didn't start this war. But I hate to argue with the Secretary of the Department of War. America and Israel definitely started this war, and you can't lie that away to the American people. And so, you know how I feel right now? I am irate. I am furious about this. We are nearly $40 trillion in debt. How much is this war going to cost us? We have seen enough of our American troops dead and murdered for foreign countries. And now we've had 4 dead and murdered, just like you said, for Israel and for the Iranian people, not for the American people. And I don't want to see any more dead and murdered. Our military is filled with some of the greatest people from our country, and God bless their families who are probably losing their minds right now, terrified that their son or daughter or their husband or wife or brother or sister may come home in a flag draped coffin. And then we have the president who, by the way, Megan, this really needs to be said. Donald Trump has said repeatedly on camera and in interviews, he doesn't think he's going to heaven. Well, I want to ask a question, a serious question. What is in his mind? What is his mental state? If he doesn't think he's going to heaven and he is a man towards the end, he's in the fourth quarter, he's towards the end of his life. How does that pan out for the rest of us when we have a president of the United States who doesn't think and is convinced he's not going to heaven? What does that mean his decision making is? He already said to the New York Post today that he doesn't care about the polling. He doesn't care about what the American people think, and he may put troops on the ground. He took this is going to be a few-day war, to now it's going to be maybe 4 weeks or more. I want to say, what is happening to the man that I supported, you supported, the man that denounced what happened in Iraq, the man that said no more foreign wars, no more regime change, promise it on the campaign. J.D. Vance promised it. Tulsi Gabbard promised it. All of them promised it. And we're a year in, and we're in another fucking war, and we've got American troops being killed. I think it's time for America to rip the Band-Aid off, and we need to have a serious conversation about what the fuck is happening to this country and who in the hell are these decisions being made for, and who is making these decisions.
Any questions? But I can answer Marjorie Taylor Greene's question when she asked what happened to the man that she voted for, the man that she was working with, the man for the Make America Great Again. He never existed, Marjorie Taylor Greene. That man never existed. He lied to you. This is the man. This is the real Donald Trump. And yeah, he's at the end of his life. What is his mental state? There could be some very real mental decline going on. But yeah, him not releasing the Epstein files, that's because he's in them and not favorably. We all knew that. You didn't know that because you were blinded. All of this that's going on, we knew that it could get this bad, and we tried to warn everybody because we weren't blinded, Marjorie Taylor Greene, but you and millions of others ignored us. Marjorie Taylor Greene says this war could last 6 weeks. It is now being put out there that this war can last over a year. It is also being talked about. I saw a lot of this conversation happening over on Twitter about how the Department of War is sending out these messages, getting people kind of like ready for the next phase. What's the next phase? Boots on the ground. So in addition to the 6 lives that have been lost, there will be more lives. The 100 school kids that were murdered, it's up to 185 the last I checked. Marjorie Taylor Greene is correct. Donald Trump said he was giving Iran back to the people and they could build a new governor, a new government and all of this stuff, but you're murdering people's families. You are destroying their way of life, their homes. And now all of those people are out in the street, hundreds of thousands of them. There's videos out there. Hundreds of thousands of them are out there chanting death to America. What Donald Trump has done, Donald Trump has radicalized a whole new generation of terrorists that will be gunning for America and Americans. And I believe Donald Trump's mental state is He doesn't give a shit. Because if he thinks he's at the end of his life, then he won't be around to have to deal with the aftermath. He doesn't care. But wait, there's more.
That America wants a regime change in Iran is because Bibi Netanyahu is demanding it. And we also are completely done with the idea that with this decades-long idea that we're doing it to spread democracy because we believe in international liberalism. There was no imminent threat to the United States when Trump made this decision to do what Bibi wanted. And I want to be clear here. This was not Trump's decision. It was Bibi Netanyahu's decision. And that is the reason that he did it. And we're very aware that Israel is dictating our foreign policy, and we would now like that to stop.
Okay, but you wouldn't disagree, presumably, that Iran has been the main sponsor of terrorism in the Middle East through the Houthis, through Hezbollah, through Hamas. I mean, that's widely accepted and recognized. They've done
Things widely accepted. No, that's just kind of...
Really? You don't think they have?
Has been a terrorist state. Okay, Israel right now is imparting a genocide and a Holocaust on the Gazan people. So I'm really over this idea like somehow Israel has the moral high ground and we have to get behind them.
I didn't say that.
We got to go after the bad guys. So it's rich to me that people are concerned about Iran having nukes. But I'm concerned about Israel, who won't even admit that they have nukes, having nukes, while at the same time they are executing a genocide and a Holocaust in Gaza that the world is watching. So who's the bigger terrorist is the question.
But when the leader of Iran says death to America, why doesn't that concern you?
Why are they chanting death to America? Maybe it has something to do with just like killing 1 million Iraqi civilians, okay, because Bibi Netanyahu on a congressional stage and said there are weapons of mass destruction, and we took that to the bank and there actually were no weapons of mass destruction, so we just killed 1 million. It could have something, I could be crazy, it could have something to do with our actions in the Middle East. We know that Bibi Netanyahu funded the Al-Qaeda adjacent front because he wanted to overthrow Syria. Bibi Netanyahu funded Hamas. There's footage of Bibi Netanyahu saying this stuff on camera. So it's just so ridiculous to me to pretend that they're in some predicament, that they may be eradicated soon, which is why they have to keep funding all of these terrorist groups and then pretending that they're victims of terror, when in fact they are people that are imparting it worldwide. Okay? And again, these never-ending wars in the Middle East at the behest of Israel. Bibi Netanyahu is the one that called for Americans to invade Iraq, Libya, Syria, Afghanistan, and now Iran, and we've done it. And we're done with the BS of, okay, well, they weren't really involved, Israel in Afghanistan, because even when we fight those never-ending wars, Israel wins. Everybody knows that our boys were out there in Afghanistan guarding poppy fields, okay? And do you know what happened after we allegedly, quote-unquote, lost in Afghanistan? What happened to all those poppy fields, those poppy flowers that our military was guarding? Well, the opioid crisis hit America via the Sackler family, who quite literally built the School of Medicine at Tel Aviv University. So we're just done, okay? And there's no way that we're going to go backwards. We're not going to allow you guys to emotionally condition us to go, oh, well, we got to protect Israel because of the Holocaust. It is over. They're imparting a Holocaust. America would like off this crazy train.
Sorry, y'all. I could have did a better job in clipping that clip. That clip was all over the place, but y'all got the point, right? Anywho, Candace ain't lied. A broken clock is right twice a day. And y'all know I'm enjoying her little series. She is tearing Erica Kirk apart, and I'm here for the mess. But anywho, I'm in agreement. I am sick of Israel and all of their shenanigans. I believe that the United States is involved in so many different shenanigans over there in the Middle East is because of its relationship with Israel. And like Candace Owens said, I want off of this fucking crazy ride. Now, with all of the countries that she listed, remember, now Turkey is also on their list.